Well then, we'll start with the top right corner. Here on Oxide LE in Game 1, it is the Red Terran. Playing for Good Game Gaming, its Dream.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map, playing for our very own Alpha X. He's the blue Protoss player. Give it up for ZOUN.
So it looks like everything is starting off very standard. We have the barracks at home for Dream. We have the, I believe that's a Reaper block wall, right? That gateway placement out of just to sort of catch out whatever comes his way.
Yeah, I expect that he will be throwing down that cybernetic core. I think he needs a cybernetic core and maybe one more building to fully wall off. But it looks and seems that way, that he's definitely looking to block off that that cliff area.
Right, right. And I've heard that recently some Protoss actually favor the natural wall. Is that true against Terran? Kind of like how they do it against Zerg?
Yeah, sometimes they do so. I think it's actually pretty a good idea on this map specifically, just because of the small ramp area on the natural. So I think it's much easier to wall off there, but that does mean that, you know, that cliff area is kind of open access for the Reapers to jump in and out. So you probably got to park a unit of some sort, whether it's a Death or Stalker, right there just to catch it. But then you also need to kind of probably park another unit at the front gate just in case any Hellion run bys.
Right, right. I've seen quite a few games where the Protoss just loses, you know, an insane amount of probes just because a few Hellions got in. Terrans do love their Hellion drops. Alright, so we have a little bit of action with the Reaper. Doesn't quite get up onto the high ground, and the Adept is gonna just sort of shoo it away. Oh, it actually, the Reaper gets very low on health, but will survive.
This is the moment where we all wish we can read a Korean. If anyone in chat knows
right.
Korean, please translate for us. That would definitely be much appreciated.
So I've seen this build a lot recently where you open up 3 racks, and I'm honestly, I have no clue what it's trying to accomplish. We see that concussive shells is already finished. These Marauders could definitely do some damage. I think that's their goal. Looks like they're headed across the map.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like he will be trying to put on some pressure. And oh, actually, my mistake. Looks like just the gateway and the cybernetic core does completely wall off. But so far, we don't have any scout here from ZOUN, which means that he's not actually aware of this move out by Dream. So this can actually pit pretty hard if he's not careful enough.
Right. Maybe if the Oracle was kept at home, then these Marauders wouldn't do so much. But yeah, it looks like there's a wide open natural, and these Marauders are just going to walk up the ramp. So let's see what happens. First probe gets picked off. The probes are pulled off of the mineral line. Second probe gets picked off. Adepts immediately shade back. Yeah, this is definitely doing some damage. You can see that those Adepts don't really, you know, those Marauders don't really mind. One finally goes down after quite a bit, but already 6 probes, I wanted to say drones, 7 probes have gone down. Finally, the second Marauder is taken out. Wow. Now the Oracle moves in. Marines will shoot away.
Not quite finding the damage here with this Oracle. I'm sure he must have wanted at least 7 or more SCVs just to make up for the lost probes, but with this many Marines, it's going to be a little bit tough here. He's going to try to shade in some of that, but the rest of the reinforcements will make this very difficult to break.
Yeah, definitely. This is, as far as I know of this matchup, I'm not a Protoss or a Terran myself, but I don't think 40 probes to 38 SCVs is the best scenario, right? Especially when you get those mules kicking in. You can definitely feel like the Terran has a lot more.
Yeah, as you can see in this income graph, as we pull it up here, there's a huge spike in the red for a Dream. So ZOUN is probably going to have to make some work of this Oracle, or maybe some adept run by, like shading 3 random adepts once the Marines are moved out to the 3rd base or something. Try to snipe some SCVs, but he's definitely gonna have to try to at least chrono boost a lot of these probes to try to catch up, or at least try to kill some of these workers of Dream.
That's right. I do like this proxy pylon just before the 6-minute mark. Oh, there we go, and a gateway gets placed down. Alright, so ZOUN might have heard you somehow and wants to warp in some random adepts in the future over there. That would be a nice move. I do like that ZOUN has a 3rd already up and running, and actually, once the probes finish transferring, that's an almost fully saturated mineral line. So that is quite decent. But it looks like Dream wants to move out. The Oracle did tag the bio on the ground, so it's not like ZOUN is not aware that this is happening.
Alright, it looks like the Oracle will have a vision of this move out. Now, keep note that Dream is not making any more SCVs. He's stuck at 46 SCVs. He's just started his 3rd base. He's going to try to find some damage with this drop. And actually, it might work because some of these Blink Stalkers are quite out of position.
That's right. That was actually a beautiful bait by Dream to just sort of say, hey, look at my bio on the low ground. Bring your Stalkers over here. It's a free pick. And then this drop in the main is doing tremendous amounts of damage. That's a full mineral line going down. The Stalkers, yeah, they will eventually clean it up, chew away the medevacs, but that is, you cannot afford to take that amount of damage, like, ever.
Yeah, a total of 23 workers going down. Of course, the 16 plus the 7 earlier. That's a lot of probes to be lost, before the 7-minute mark. So, and the attack is not over yet. Those 2 medevacs still up and running.
That's right. I love this. A lesser player might lose that medevac, but it comes right back in. Look at that. I love it. As soon as the probes begin mining again, drop comes back in. And now ZOUN is fully committed with the Stalkers at the front.
Alright, ZOUN's going to try to blink up into top of the army, but just too much losses here at the main base. And Dream is going to take a solid Game 1 victory here in game number 1.
Wow, we never got to see the full potential of that proxy gateway, dude. It was quite a game.
Yeah, for sure. So, people, I see the predictions here. 76% has predicted ZOUN is going to win this series. Only 24 for Dream. So, looks like at this rate, it looks like some people might be losing some channel points. But of course, this is a best of 5, so plenty of opportunities for ZOUN to climb back out of this and type the series and potentially win the series. So we shall see.
That's right. Very well played game by Dream. I think just sort of handling the Oracle in the early game and then making full use of those 2 medevacs, just sprinkle in a few Marauders here and there. It really gives your bio that much more punch against Stalkers. And remind me, Snoopy, is that the standard opener in a macro Protoss versus Terran build? It's Blink Stalker.
Yeah, it's a very common build. Unfortunately, though, I think the mistake of ZOUN is that he did not really scout with his opening adepts. He didn't go a shade across the map to at least get an idea of what Dream was going for. So he kind of missed the boat on the Marauder move out, and he just got caught off by surprise and just lost 7 probes to that. So I think that was the main mistake there by ZOUN. But yeah, in terms of the build order, that was a pretty standard opening, Protoss opening by ZOUN.
Right. And here in the top right corner, Pillars of Gold LE, it feels like this map has been around in the map pool forever, is our blue Protoss representing our very own Alpha X. It's ZOUN.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map, he's a red Terran player, up 1-0, looking to extend it to 2-0. Can he do it? It is a Dream.
All right, so we start off with, I believe that's a Gateway Scout. Nothing out of the ordinary just yet. I gotta
Yeah.
tell you, watching these guys in GSL, pull off some absolutely amazing macro games. Like I love me some wacky games, right? Like you get a few base trades here and there, but man, you know that a player is strong when they pull off some of the longest, most slugfests of macro games. Like that is when you know that they have the mental stamina to really just power through a 20-minute game where it's nonstop action.
Oh yeah, for sure. These players, I think they're generally known as more standard type players. They're not really considered cheesy or anything. So yeah, both these players has played plenty and many of macro games, and we might potentially have it on this map. This map actually tends to have some pretty decent macro games from what I remembered.
Right, right. And so here we see the first deviation from our red Terran from last game. Dream opted for a Marine first. I believe that's to get a quicker reactor and a quicker factory, since the gas goes towards that quicker. I'm not too sure, actually.
Yeah, it looks like it might be just a 1-1-1 build. I don't see a second Rex. The question is, will this be something like a Banshee, or will he just open up with a Raven? Or maybe just Widowmine drops, who knows?
I have seen some crazy Terran versus Protoss where they just pump out Marines, just like Dream is doing right now, out of their first barracks with a reactor on it, and then they slap a tech lab on their factory. They go for 2 tanks and they walk across. And I've seen some magic happen with that. Not that I'm saying that's what's going to happen, but if it does happen, I would be very happy to see that.
Oh, we'll remember that you called it.
That's right. All right, so out of ZOUN, we see a Twilight Robo looking to get a little bit more aggressive than... Oh, a lot more aggressive, my bad. We see that Dark Shrine, that Dark DT Shrine, as I like to call it, go down. Very nice.
Yeah, so I don't usually see a lot of... I wouldn't say a lot, but... I usually see only specific Protoss players go for DTs against Terran, only because Terran players, I feel like they generally have a lot of detection options, whether it's the scan, whether it's the Raven, whether it's the turrets,
Missile turret, that kind of thing. Yep.
So you don't generally see plenty of Protosses going for DTs. I've seen Zest go for it. It looks like ZOUN is going to go for it. And the good thing about DTs is that even if you don't get any damage done with those initial DTs, you can still, of course, morph them into Archons, and then just kind of dance around with it, do some fancy Archon or Prism micro, and hopefully get some good damage that way.
That's right. So tell me, are Archon drops still common against Terran, or are they more common against Zerg?
They used to be common against Zerg, but I think, the amount of it used to be like all the time, like, just go
right,
dark
right.
DTs, 4 DTs or 3 DTs against Zerg. Of course, that kind of went down as the meta changed and Zerg got used to the timing. They started getting the sport codes in time and stuff like that. And it seems like
I love that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
that is a huge hit. I was just about to say the DT on the low ground actually did get in because the supply depot was just lowered. I think that that was a bait by Dream, but Dream got a huge Widowmine hit off on the Warp Person just now. And 11 SCVs do go down, but I don't know. Was that worth it? I can't even tell at this point. Wow, that was such a big hit.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. It was so well hidden in the back there behind the racks or the factory, I believe. Right. But yeah, that...
Oh my gosh. And now we see the Hellions roasting 10 probes already. I believe this was a medevac drop. They're about to roast some more. Maybe? Are they? Oh, they're definitely going to try, and they get 3 more in the low ground. Stalkers are finally going to take them out, but wow. So already, both sides are taking tremendous amounts of damage. We see the scan go down. Okay, and the Widowmine finally finishes off the last Dark Templar.
Now some chaotic action here in the beginning stages of this game, but it seems like the harass is yet to stop here as Dream has loaded up 4 Widow Mines into that medevac. Now, it's important to note that there is still no dirt base coming down for ZOUN. He's actually throwing down a bunch of gateways, getting that charge upgrade, and it looks like he might go for a big 2-base timing push. It seems like, yeah, the War Prism is flying across. Now, this is at the same time while this Widow Mine is happening, so we'll see and keep an eye out to see how many probes these Widow Mines kill. But yeah, it's about to potentially end this game in the next couple of seconds.
That's right, one way or another. So we see the first 2 Widow Mines drop. Okay, very nice probe pool in the main of ZOUN, and only 2 probes go down. And then ZOUN with the charge lots hitting the front of the Terran. That is an interesting force field. Prevents the SCVs from repairing. We actually see a lot of probes going down with the 2 other Widow Mines hitting the natural base of ZOUN. Alright, so we see charge lots trying to do some work, but they just can't manage to break through. And GG is called. Dream is now up 2-0.
Yeah, held the DTs. Well, I guess he did lose a lot of workers in the beginning, but he did make it up with those 4 Hellions. And then, of course, the Widow Mine follow-up did some decent damage at the natural, and was able to hold off that 2-base attack. You could say maybe ZOUN could have continued on, but again, he did not have a third base, so it was going to be pretty hard for him to macro out of it. So, yeah, just a solid win there by Dream for sure.
Yep, definitely. I found it interesting that ZOUN actually kept 2 gas geysers fully saturated. I assume it was for the backup stalkers, just to, give the charge lots a little bit more staying power. But in the end, it didn't manage to work, and the losses from the Widow Mines were too big, so he had to tap out.
Yeah. All right, so looks like Dream will be heading to game number 3 with a 2-0 lead. If he wins one more, he's gonna win this series. So we shall see if he manages to pull this off.
That's right. So here on Death Aura LE, we are in game 3 and potentially match point for our red Terran. Spawning in the bottom right corner is Dream.
And spawning here at the top left, he's the blue Protoss, representing the team of Alpha X. Give it up for ZOUN.
So since Dream is up 2-0 right now, it seems like ZOUN, I mean, it's make it or break it, right? Like, you literally cannot lose from this point on, and that is never a comfortable position to be in. I'm really feeling it for our guy from Alpha X.
Yeah, he's going to have to win 3 straight games here. Now, I'd say it's still possible. Dream, I would say, is a scary, solid Terran, but he's not like, crazy, unbeatable. He's not like 7.5k MMR or something like crazy like that. But yeah, he does have his, ZOUN does have his work cut out for him, because winning 3 straight is a tall task against anybody.
Oh, definitely. Now, this is interesting. I believe ZOUN went for a Nexus and then a Cybercore. Is that common against Terran?
It really depends on the Protoss preference. Sometimes you see Protoss go for Gateway into Nexus into Cyber, or you can see some Protosses go for Gateway into Cybernetic Core and then into Nexus. It's a matter of preference, and also sometimes it does come down to scouting. If the Protoss send their probe earlier on, they go across the map and see, oh, it's actually a 1 base opening. The Terran is going for a 2 gas instead of 1, or maybe he scouts the Terran going for a proxy Rex. Generally, you see the Protoss go for the Cybernetic Core before the Nexus. And then sometimes if the Protoss scout nothing, is a pretty standard opening by the Terran, the Protoss will probably go for a Nexus first, just to get a little bit of an economic edge.
Right. And especially since the Reaper wall on the high ground is already completed, there's that just tiny bit less of a risk by taking the cyber a little bit later, I'm assuming.
Alright, looks like the first adept will be making its way across the map. This proxy gateway kind of indicates to me that he is going to go for a 3-gate timing. Going to probably warp in some stalkers or maybe even some mass adepts, who knows.
Adept tries to shade onto the high ground, but Dream was paying attention. Close that wall right up. Now 2 Hellions are out. I don't think this adept is really gonna get a chance to do much. We're gonna have to wait and see what kind of damage ZOUN can get done with this proxy gate.
Oh, this SCV has yet to scout this proxy. Oh my god, he's like scouting everywhere, just like completely misses it.
I love that. That's amazing.
We got this
the 3 adepts actually complete the shade, but yeah, that was really not a an ideal shade. 1 adept already got picked off, roasted by the Hellions. Okay, so we have some backup adepts. Actually pushing for a shade, picking off a couple of Marines. I do like that. Getting a couple of SCVs, a 3rd goes down. Wow, that supply depot was so close to finishing. But I'm gonna be honest, like these Hellions, you know, you can't really get past them.
Yeah, I'd say Dream has held on pretty well. I mean, 3 SCVs went down, but I feel like he's considering, you know, this is a 3-gate opening. The tech is going to be behind for ZOUN. Not a decent loss there for Dream. So, I mean, he's got the Hellions, which actually does pretty good damage against the adept. Oh, actually, he's dropping with these Hellions. This might be a mistake. He has yet to clear out these adepts, so these adepts will go ahead and force Dream off the mineral line mining.
That's right. All that's really left to protect this natural mineral line are actually quite a few Widow Mines, which are doing the work, you know, just sort of keeping the adepts back. And now this medevac out of Dream is going to try to find its way into either the main or the natural, you know, take your pick. Not really going to find an opening as stalkers are warped in. I love that. So just now, the adepts from ZOUN, one of them was sort of split off preemptively, just in case one of those Widow Mines went off. I love that kind of micro.
Yeah, instead of getting potentially getting splash damage from that Widow Mine, kind of just try to mitigate as much of the splash damage as much as possible. But here we go.
Right. Speaking of mitigating splash damage, these Hellions get into the main. 1 Hellion goes down, but 4 probes have already gone down as well. More stalkers are warped in at home. Are they going to find more damage? Oh, and the splits are decent, but 6 probes went down. How do you feel about that? If I don't know about you, Snoopy, but if I were ZOUN, I would not feel that good. And a Liberator comes in. It's like a 1-2 punch.
Oh my goodness. That is so annoying. You're like, oh, I'm done, you know, cleaning up this harass. Actually, never mind. It's still ongoing.
That's
but
right.
yeah, like you said, I would not also feel great because ZOUN was actually pretty decently ahead in the worker count. Now it's much closer than I'm sure that he would like. Now, granted, he does have the Dirt Nexus, so as you can see, he's chrono boosting those probes to try to get his economy back and up and running. But here we go, another Widow Mine drop.
It doesn't look like ZOUN has seen it. Oh my gosh. Okay. And the probes are right on time, pulled off the line. 1 is sacrificed into the natural. The probes. Oh, wow. Okay, so that Widow Mine got 3. A 4th probe goes down. Every single line has been harassed just from 1 medevac. I love it. That is what we call efficiency.
Alright, we do in the meantime do have a Stalker counterattack here on Dream side of the base. He's going to have to blink out of there to safety. Meanwhile, the Widow Mines are still happening across the map as well, so we'll try to keep an eye out for that as at the same time as this Stalker harass is happening. And oh, here we go.
Oh no, look at those probes all clumped up. Okay, and they just barely get out of range. Good Stalker micro, blinks right out of the way, but the probes going into the main, getting more damage. Both players are taking a lot of economic damage right now.
Yeah, they're just like harassing each other, like whipping each other, smacking each other left and right.
That's right. These stalkers still here, just kind of poke in, see what they can get, blink out. I like that observer positioning too.
Oh yeah,
Fairly
this is
sort of
a
gives the
very
high ground vision.
quite a pervy observer right here. Someone in the chat asking if this is Heart of the Swarm. This is actually Legacy of the Void. Legacy of the
Oh, that would be a friend from UC Davis. So I myself am from UC San Diego. What is up, Sodium Chloride? Nice to see you.
Welcome, welcome. As you can see, we're in Game 3 of this Best of 5 series, and so far, ZOUN doing a good job. Not trying to go down 0-3. He's actually trying to start his 3-game winning streak by trying to winning this first game. He is in great position. He is up 109 overall supply to 86. You look at the worker count, he's over 20 workers ahead. So yeah, he's in a great position here.
That's right. Second Stalker is just about to finish up, and once that, or I'm sorry, the second Colossus. There are many more than 2 Stalkers. There we go. So the 2 Colossi are out. Charge is almost done, and honestly, if the Terran was trying to go for some sort of timing right about now, in a less harassy game, I would not be so confident. And it looks like Dream finally figures out that there was a proxy pylon and a gateway. Probably could already tell given the amount of the depths that were shading in the early game. And it looks like ZOUN, with that thermal lance about to finish up, is moving across the map.
Yeah, this actually might not be a bad time to attack. I mean, his plus 2 weapons attack is finishing up fairly soon. If you can kind of go for a timing attack right here, not maybe the shabbiest decision.
Right. Here we go. So, sort of poking at the command center, forcing a lift off, shredding through a lot of Marines. Bit of mines finally land, take out all the charge lots, but we still have the 2 Colossi. Stalkers are left, so CC is actually forced to float away. I don't know about those force fields, but hey, do your damage.
Yeah. It is important to note that there's no War Prism here for ZOUN, so no reinforcement to back up this attack, and it's going to force ZOUN to retreat back home. But the good thing is that he did save those important 2 Colossus, which means that he can kind of join up with that third Colossus. And usually the magic number that you want in terms of Colossus count as a Protoss is around 3 to 4. So he's going to have those 3 Colossus to do those splash damage on that bio units. That's going to be really effective and important during the later stages.
That's right. And we see Dream already responding, was pumping out a few Vikings here and there, now going back to Medivacs. We have ourselves a really fantastic macro game on our hands. I do like where this game is headed.
Yeah, I agree. I think this has been the longest game thus far, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Definitely. Although you would not be able to tell if we rewinded maybe 5 minutes. All that harass going on. Oh my gosh, I could not even keep up. I love it. So double disruptors coming out of ZOUN, plus the DT Shrine is about to finish. Just pull out every single Protoss unit. Why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got like the whole tree right there. He's got the Colossus tech, got the Disruptor tech, he's got the Archon and High Templar tech. He's got the DT tech as well that's about to come up and pop up. So yeah, he's got like everything in his arsenal to close this game out. Now the question is, can he close this game out? It really all comes down to how he engages and execute this winning chess move.
That's right, and especially when you see Ghosts with their upgrades in play, this game can suddenly get a lot more dicey, no matter what sort of supply lead you may have. It all comes down, like you said, to the final engagement, to the micro.
So far, ZOUN is kind of playing it pretty passively for the time being. He's kind of having his War Prism at the right side, kind of just lurking around, seeing when the army moves out so that he can start diving in there and flying into the main base to harass. But he should be able to see the move out of the Terran army here. And here we go. DT's on the play here at the third base. Sniping away at these SCVs.
It's very interesting. Sort of a push and pull, right, with the Stalkers and the Colossi, as well as the DTs. That CC is still actually surprisingly low on health. I do like this double drop coming out of Dream in the top right corner of the map. And now we see the Stalkers and the main army possibly coming back for a round 2. That is a planetary that's about to finish up, though. And any Zerg, any Protoss will tell you that. Planetaries, you do not want to attack into them.
Yeah.
Alright, and we see those Novas coming out of the Disruptors. 2 of them with, one of them did get the Widowmine. Alright, let's see this engagement. Oh wow, and actually got a few of his own charge lots. Let's see if that matters though, as ZOUN keeps pushing forward, gets a huge Nova off on the bio, a bunch of Marauders go down, and now this third is in serious trouble, 25 SCVs go down. Wow. ZOUN is just taking lead after lead. A couple of nice EMPs, but you can see that ZOUN really, realistically, does not need to care about that. Wow. Good EMPs, good Novas all around. Both players, you know, taking their damage, but in the end, look at the Protoss still almost maxed out, and ZOUN takes game 3, staving off that match point just for a little while longer.
Yeah, he is not going down without a fight, and hopefully he can win 2 more and win the series, but he still needs to win 2 more. That means 2 more lives left for Dream. There's still a lot of people who voted for ZOUN, so I'm sure they're crossing their fingers, hoping that ZOUN is going to start his winning streak here. But yeah, I would say that after a pretty chaotic beginning there, he did a really nice job just transitioning, making sure he transitioned to the mid to late game with all the tech that he had going for him. And yeah, I just really like ZOUN being able to harass left and right with the DTs and then with his main army. Never used the Warp Prison to go into the main base, but still was able to use that to warp the DTs to harass.
That's right. It's a real treat to see these very, very harassy sorts of pro-level games, you know, where both players, they seem to be taking disproportionate amounts of damage, because I'm sure everybody's heard of, you know, the world champions, the tippy top of the line players. But really, realistically, that is not the vast majority of players, even the vast majority of professional level players. You know, like, you will take damage one way or another. And really, it just comes down to who recovers the best.
Yeah. By the way, Neil, thank you for helping fix the Matchuino command there in the Twitch chat. Hopefully, I thought it was edited correctly, but I guess not. But anyhow, thank you for keeping up with that. Anyhow, here we go at game number 3. Game number 4 here on Romanticide LE. TeaDragon, take it away.
All right. So here in the top left corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss representing this team that I've never heard of before, Alpha X. It is ZOUN.
And spawning here at the bottom right, he's the red Terran player playing for the team of Good Game Gaming. And 1 game away from clinching the series. Can he do it? It is a dream.
In a lot of ways, for ZOUN, it must feel like he's still in the same place as last game, right? Because this is still match point. If Dream takes this game, he takes the series.
Yeah.
And ZOUN's only option is for a reverse sweep, which historically, statistically, is very, very rare in StarCraft 2.
Now, if ZOUN does win this game, you tie up the series, the pressure does, kind of go towards a Dream there. You kind of sweat a little because, you're up 2-0, you're in great position to close out the series, but then you're like, oh, wait, am I going to actually choke? Am I going to just, give this series away to ZOUN? And then it's going to be up to him to, make sure that that doesn't happen. Of course, it will be ZOUN's, or not ZOUN's pick, the Dream's pick, I believe. Although actually no, wait, they did a map veto, so okay, yeah, so it should be Loser's pick, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be Dream's map of choice. But again, this will be up to how this game goes.
Yeah, definitely. We see this Marine doing a big sort of loop around the southern side of the map, just sort of checking, just sort of making sure that ZOUN hasn't tried anything kind of spooky like last game with that proxy pylon and the proxy gateway. You see a quick Twilight coming out of ZOUN. I do like this. Be fast, be aggressive. Actually, yeah, that Twilight came out before the second gateway, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you don't really have much to worry about in the beginning of the game, usually. If you're the Protoss player against Terran. I mean, excluding the fact that the Terran player is cheesing some sort. But if it's looking pretty standard, you can kind of get away with going a little bit greedy on the tech area before throwing down your additional gateways. And plus, Blink isn't going to be done before those gateways are warped in.
That's right. And just a reminder for the audience, remember to do that match in Reno. Support these players. Code is AX324. AX324. Let's get those numbers up.
All right, I might have to. Oh, okay. AX324. I might have to update that on the Nightbot command, unless Neo can do so. Oh, okay, Neo got it. All right, awesome. Thank you.
Sweet. What is up, Neo? It's been a minute. All right, so we see the first harass option from either one of our players. It's going to be a Hellion drop into the natural. Let's see how much damage he gets done. And the probes, when you pull them, they just sort of line up like that. I hate when that happens, but these stalkers are finally going to ward it away. Shield battery actually was popped, so definitely a sign that maybe ZOUN was not really expecting that sort of harass. These stalkers, though, they're just sort of going to keep an eye. That medevac can't really go up onto the high ground, and the low ground should be covered. Oh, is Dream actually going to try for it? There is just one adept on the low ground. No. I love this back and forth, It's always the back and forth. I love it.
Yeah, it's like playing tag. You're like, you're it. No, never mind.
Exactly. And, to maybe viewers who are not as experienced, players who are not as experienced, it might look like a waste of time, but actually, it's really just each player is sort of testing the other. Now we see 4 Blink Stalkers coming into the main of Dream. 1 tank shot is going to ward them away for now. These Marines are going to keep them in check. And can they make it back to the War Prison? Yeah, they will. I don't know what I was worried about, right? This is ZOUN we're talking about. It's Alpha X. I shouldn't even warn you.
Well, no, to be honest, I am a little bit worried because I don't feel like that was enough damage. He did lose. Remember, he did lose 6 probes in the beginning from that Hellion drop, and so he needs to do a bit more. I mean, you see the worker count; it's a bit too close for comfort, I would say. So I'm sure definitely. he definitely needs to get a little bit more damage than this.
Hellions tried to pop into the main for a second. Small army at home warded that away. But yeah, you're definitely right about that. We see that the probe count is only 2 higher than the SCV count. Like you said, that is definitely not a position that you want to be in as the Protoss. You gotta account for the mules, you gotta be a base ahead. Hellions actually just run into the natural. Are they gonna get... They actually get 4 probes. No, this is not what you want to happen. Look at that, now the probe and the SCV counts are even. Dead even. Plus 3 mules on the field. This is not a good position for our blue Protoss right now.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate because it looked like ZOUN was making his way back. He had the dirt base, just didn't keep an eye out for the 2 remaining Hellions, and taking 4 probes out for just 2 Hellions. I think Dream will take that any day of the week.
Oh, definitely. All right, let's see if that unsiege was kind of unfortunate. It might not matter. It really doesn't matter. We see all that bio coming in. I do like having the stalkers on the other side of the map, though. That is very important for scouting, for just sort of testing the waters, as I mentioned earlier, just making sure that Dream is where he's supposed to be, basically. Speaking of which, it does look like Dream is going to move out, and the stalkers... Oh, one of them actually gets caught out in the open. It looks like a second Colossus just started. Yeah, I'm not sure. This push is definitely scary if you're the blue Protoss.
Yeah, especially because Dream actually has a +1 on his army. And I'm not quite sure if +1 for ZOUN is going to finish before this attack, gets on and commences. The good thing for ZOUN is that he does at least have a Colossus, and the second one's about to pop out. There is a shield battery there in case he needs to recharge and use the shield battery overcharge. So maybe if he can get on top of it, maybe he can, clean out the rest. Oh, there's a little bit of a... Okay, there we go.
Oh, I think that was me. Not bad. Alright, we see that drop into the natural. That tank positioning. Oh, I love it and I hate it, Nice blink. Picks off one. Okay, finally picks off the second medevac. There we go. That gateway at the front is going to go down. This is such an awkward position to be in. I can just imagine. Even if you're a Terran, right? This would... Oh, I love it. Using the War Prism to keep that Robo-Bait powered. Oh, that Widowmine gets off a pretty big hit on some of the stalkers. Finally, the charge lots, or do they have charge? I'm not actually sure. They finally wrap around and kill off those stalkers. Those, I'm sorry, siege tanks. That was finally held. A lot of damage was taken.
Yeah, I really like that, sending a couple of charge lot to the right side, to the bottom, and, kind of getting a kind of a flank. And the Widowmine actually below it kind of did some friendly damage onto Dream's army, so that also helped ZOUN clean up the rest of the army. But in no way, shape, or form is it still over for Dream. Dream is still even there on the army supply and the worker supply, and we do have a little bit of a base trade here happening.
Wow, we love to see it. Oh my gosh, we see stalkers, we see colossi trying to zap away everything in sight. At the same time, we've got these Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, Widowmines, Quad M just doing their damage. And we see, oh my gosh, are we going to get up to 30 SCVs lost? We already see 10 probes going down. This entire series has been nothing but a slugfest. I love it.
Yeah, remember, it was not the greatest start here for ZOUN. And somehow ZOUN has pulled himself back, and it seems like, I still have no idea who's going to win this game. It's so close. It's really going to come down to how these guys micro it.
Right. Recall on the 3 Colossi. They're finally going to take care of this army over on the side of ZOUN. Yeah, wow. Again, just trading blows. I love these SCVs in the bottom left corner of the map. Finally going.
Oh, these stalkers are going to completely intercept these medevacs there. Unfortunately, he was an observer, so ZOUN had eye on that. Oh man, that's so unfortunate here for Dream.
Jeez. Big laser drafts coming out. If I were to quote Loco, Disruptor actually gets picked off, and the Nova whiffed. All right, we're gonna have to see a second round of defense from our Protoss. Widowmine doesn't get the best hit, kills 1 charge lot. Yeah, seriously, these 3 Colossi have been doing their work, They are not stopping anytime soon. Not unless Dream ups that Viking count.
Alright, looks like Dream is going to maneuver towards to the right side here. We'll get spotted by the pylon, so ZOUN should be aware and will be able to position his army in the correct spot. But both of them, these players, are still reeling from the economic damage. Some 2 random charges that actually bravely make its way into the mineral line of Dream, and actually not a lot here to defend. Looks like the reinforcement will finally scare that Zealot away.
Looks like Dream is actually not mining any gas, and is not really mining. Actually, never mind. Mules are great, so we see that mineral income really starting to kick in right about now. And ZOUN is actually going for another move out.
Well, the question is, does he have the army to do so? I
That's
mean,
right.
he does have 3 Colossus. He does have 3 Archons, but I don't know. It feels like he's still kind of on bird's eye view. Doesn't kind of look flimsy in terms of the ground army.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I totally agree with you on that. And it looks like ZOUN had the same analysis and is just going to head on home after having that observer in that sweet spot before Dream took it out with a scan.
Oh, I just realized that Dream did actually lift off his main command center to the
Yeah.
6 o'clock base, and that is pretty smart. I mean, his main base is pretty much mined out, and that kind of saves the Terran player from having to waste another 400 minerals on that command center. So
You know, Snoopy, I don't know about you, but I have very rarely been in this sort of position. You know, I am safe, I have a decent sized army, whether it be from the Red Terran or the Blue Protoss, but my economy is in shambles, or in relative shambles, right? Like, both players just took so much damage earlier on, and now it's like, okay, what do we do now? We can't kill each other, we need to sort of rebuild. We see some Chronos building, we see some energy on the next side building up. So there are definitely some Chronos available to continue this pro production. Again, with the double disruptor play. And this bio is moving across. Very scary for the Stalkers to engage alone.
yeah, it looks like ZOUN is gonna have to micro his heart out, because these bio units are actually on 2 upgrades now versus the only +1 of ZOUN. So he is in a pretty heavy upgrade deficit. He's gonna have to make sure, or try to rely on his disruptors to get those critical hits to make sure that the fight goes his way.
Yep, definitely. Continuing that pro production, 4 probes at a time. We are actually almost even on the worker count. The SCV count just pulled ahead. That is not a comfortable position. These players at such a high level, you know, constantly splitting up their armies, trying to maneuver all the time. And we see that big quad drop coming into the natural. Let's see how much damage they will deal. And it looks like another Terran army is headed towards the 4th. This is definitely a good split. Has a lot of potential.
Oh man, I love this maneuvering by Dream, pulling him left and right. You know, he's kind of abusing the mobility of ZOUN right now, but there is a counter attack here. Zealot force at the natural of a Dream, so action happening across the map. And oh, you might actually snipe this Nexus here. Nope, actually the reinforcement will go ahead and clear that up, but he does lose the 12 o'clock base.
Yeah, these charge lots are really doing good damage. Again, both players not even at this point trading, just sort of giving each other workers. That was a lot of SUVs that just went down. I'm sure ZOUN is very, very happy about, you know, finally pulling together that defense, and in addition, getting a very, very sizable bonus in the form of 21 STP.
Well,
these 4 charge lots are gonna live.
Oh man, these are the saviors, the survivors.
Yep, live to tell the tale. Oh. Or maybe only 2 of them. Who knows?
But yeah, that definitely makes up for the lost Nexus. I would say losing to
right.
taking out 21 workers.
Yeah, definitely. Man, these players just constantly microing. How do you even have that much attention? You know, it's crazy to think about. I heard that some pros they train for big tournaments by going into Archon mode against a bunch of different people at the same time. To me, that's just crazy. All right, let's see how these ghosts do. Big EMPs go off. 1 Archon goes down. Disruptor whiffs. Another disruptor shot coming out. Gets a couple of ghosts. This Protoss army is quite scary. Some of the shields are stripped though, so we're gonna have to see how these Vikings do. Oh, very decent disruptor hit. I do like that.
So many orange fireballs shooting out of ZOUN. And slowly but surely, he's kind of dwindled the army of Dream. And now he is quite ahead. A dirty army supply here for ZOUN. And I think, you know, he kind of should just like slowly eat away at Dream. He does have those remaining, let's see how many disruptors those are. 10 disruptors out on the field. Holy moly.
Send out as many Novas as you want, right? Just keep the bio back. Like you mentioned earlier, the bio is the more maneuverable composition. But if you can catch it on the defense, right? Once you're pushing the bio, that's when things change. Although the bio is pushing back, right? It looks like there's just one more Nova left. And those warpins are getting a little bit desperate here. But that supply lead has been taken. 2 more Colossi are about to be produced. And I don't know, I think ZOUN has done it. ZOUN has definitely put himself into a really good spot for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, and a lot of these medevacs actually pretty low in energy, so... Oh man, not looking good here for Dream. These disruptors just...
That's right. When you have 7 of them, right? You could just keep sending them out, see what happens if they shave off a couple here and there. You see a little bit of Korean banter. Again, I wish I spoke Korean. Oh my gosh, that was a huge Nova. Another decent-sized Nova. This is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, I imagine Dream is like, screw you and your disruptors. I'm gonna just go for one last stand. But no, actually, no, just gonna GG out. And ZOUN, he's gonna tie up this series.
This could be it. This really could be it. Either way, it is impressive that ZOUN has made it this far. Coming back from a 0-2 deficit against Dream. That was quite a game. I don't know what to make of that. Wow.
Absolutely. Oh man, I cannot wait to get into this game number 5 to see who is going to go ahead and win the series and advance to the finals. Of course, they will face the winner of the next upcoming series after this, which will be Beyond versus DRG. But before then, we got to conclude this series to see who is going to take it. There's still a lot of people that rooted for ZOUN in the beginning with the channel points predictions. So we'll see how those channel points go and swing. But yeah, this is going to be on Jagannatha for our last map.
What, are you telling me you don't pronounce it Jagannatha? Come on.
You know, there's multiple pronunciation of this map. I tend to go for Jagannatha, but yeah, Jagannatha works as well.
In my dreams, right? It's an interesting map. I believe it's got those feed zones. I love playing with lurkers on it. Those lurkers, ooh, you just run them in, right? They're like spiky banelings. I think Tastosis, Artosis and Tasteless, I think that's what they said in one of those. I think it was Armani's series against, I believe, Maru? I'm not too sure, but basically they were calling them spiky banelings for that game.
You know, that's a pretty accurate description.
That's right. They deal splash, and if you send them in to die, yep, they're pretty much like banelings. They definitely do their damage. Only hope is Frost Giant. That's right. The saviors of RTS, right?
Absolutely. Frost Giant it is. I'm actually interested to see how that game kind of comes along. There was a little bit of a preview YouTube video clip.
Yeah.
A bunch of the designer just talking a little bit about the process that they are right now in, but still a long ways to go, and can't wait to see when that game comes out and how that plays out and all.
That's right. I don't know about all of you guys, but this is my first and only RTS. I love seeing these guys play.
Yeah, StarCraft is, I have to admit, it's just the best game I played in my life. So after all these years, I'm still sticking with it. But anyhow, here we go. Looks like they changed map. It's going to be actually on Lightshade LE. 2-2 score right now, and here we go. don't you go ahead and introduce our first player here?
All right, so starting off, representing our own clan, Alpha X, it is the Protoss. Bringing it back from a 0-2 deficit, it is ZOUN.
And spawning here at the bottom right. He's the red Terran player, playing for Good Game Gaming. Is he going to stop the momentum of ZOUN? It is Dream. All right, it all comes down to this, guys. Who will pull it off?
Either way, this has been such a great, entertaining series so far. The potential of a 3-0 sweep, the potential of a reverse sweep. Just an emotional roller coaster all around.
Indeed. And I'm going to be curious to see what these players decide to go for in terms of their tech, in terms of their build order here. It seems like the past few games, Blinkstalkers has worked out pretty well for ZOUN. And then, you know, kind of transitioning that into Colossus, the 3 Colossus. And then, you know, afterwards, once he's settled down and feel confident enough, he kind of adds in those additional splash damage, whether it's Archons or Disruptors. On the other side, though, Dream sticking with mainly Bio, maybe some Hellion drops to open the game here and there. So I'm curious, definitely curious to see what these players go for this game here.
I wonder, is mech viable against Protoss? I know it definitely was in the past at some point, but it seems to have fell out of fashion.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of Terran going for mech against Protoss. I think it's more in specific maps, more, you know, maps that has more of those choke areas and stuff. I don't expect Dream to go for mech. He's not the mech type of player generally. I think he kind of excels when he's microing and try to, you know, just basically out APMing his opponent. And this map I don't think is the greatest for mech, so yeah, I don't expect Dream to go for that.
Right. We do see Stim queued up. It looks like same old from the red Terran Dream. Is this actually the same 2 Marauder move out?
Yeah, this is the same build on Oxide, I believe, with the 2 Marauder move out. But ZOUN, on the other hand, something that was different compared to the first game is that he did scout with that Adept. So as you can see, this time around, having that shield battery up and running, and so I think, yeah, he should be fine this time.
I love the movement on those Marauders, just sort of scouting around. Since when have you heard of a scouting Marauder, right? I love it.
Yeah, it's usually not the Marauder's job to scout around. They're kind of more for fighting, of course.
That's right. A single NG bay, just like in previous games. So I find that interesting because being a Zerg main, whenever I see one NG bay, there's usually another one right next to it. So I just find it a little bit odd that there's only one upgrade. Obviously, that's just from my perspective as a Zerg.
It seems like he's going for a timing attack. You can see like his +1 is going to line up pretty well with the Medivacs. So he can kind of hit a nice timing, decent timing. But he's going to have to contend with this War Prism harass before that happens. These 4 Stalkers once again doing this nice artillery attack here.
And blink into the main mineral line, and yeah, okay. 4 SCVs right off the bat. Very nice. 5. Ooh. Get a few Marines, blink out. There we go. That was pretty solid damage.
Yeah,
All for free too.
yeah, that was some really nice micro of ZOUN. Very clean, I would say.
That's right. Oh, a very ambitious blink in. Nice four-person micro just to ensure the safety of that one lower health stalker. This Colossus is just about to pop, so it'll be interesting to see how this +1 bio timing plays out.
Yeah, that +1 is about to finish along with combat shield, and the thing is though, he should be moving out like right now. He should be like halfway across the map, but he's still like too worried about this war prism, and so he's kind of like slowing down. ZOUN is slowing down this push a little bit, and that's gonna buy him some time to get this Colossus out, to get the charge finished, to get those additional gateways up and running, for those additional warpins to defend. So I'm liking where ZOUN is at right now.
I totally agree with you. You know, you give Protoss a little bit of extra time, they get one more warp in, it could actually make a pretty big difference. And we see that static defense going down. Yeah, I think that +1 timing has been, at the very least, mitigated for the time being.
Yeah, he's probably gonna wait for this +1 armor before moving out. It seems like he's kind of transitioning instead, knowing that he can't really do too much with this first push, as the ZOUN slowed him down a little bit there with those blink stalkers. He's throwing down his third base. Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and wait for that upgrade to probably start attacking here.
Very smart move. It honestly takes a lot of game sense to know, okay, this timing did not work out, even if you have not even engaged, just to be able to tell, like, hey, it's too late, this is not going to work, I need to wait for another timing. That's, in my opinion, some really high-level game sense.
Absolutely. Patience is a virtue.
That's right. Alright, so how does this triple drop go?
Oh, Blinkstalk is going to go ahead and get on top of these medevacs, trying to target fire them. A little bit of a mess up there, awkward engagement, but all in all, he does save a lot of these army, especially with the shield battery. This Colossus still surviving against this Viking here. Oh boy, not looking good here for Dream.
Wow. Like you said, that shield battery was in the perfect position to really just give those Colossi such a large buffer. I think ZOUN has held that convincingly.
Oh man, is he about to win 3 straight and win this? That will be pretty insane.
Yeah. It looks like ZOUN is wondering the same thing, as he's just gonna walk right across the map.
Yeah, he feels so confident he's even throwing down the 4th base. I mean, I don't blame him. He held that pretty well, pretty solidly. And so yeah, just might as well extend your economic advantage here. But it looks like ZOUN is looking to close out the series right now, as he is about to pounce on this third base.
That Colossus is so low on health. Archons are warped in. We'll have to see if Green can hold just as convincingly as ZOUN held.
Look at that dance. Back and forth, back and forth.
That's right. Oh. Like you said, that back and forth, right? You've got the Vikings trying to see whatever damage they can get on the Colossi. Oh, and they actually do get very nice amount. Oh, and then of course we've got the CC constantly taking damage from the Protoss ball. ZOUN actually floating just a little bit.
Yeah, he's about to do a huge warp in here into the main base. Gonna use up some of that minerals, and I love this, doing a double prong harass here.
I do like that. I do not like the 3 Colossus going down at the front, but these Zealots are definitely going to do some damage. Wow.
Yep, that's gonna free up this dirt base here for ZOUN to take a full advantage of, and this This
No
might
way.
be it. Dream
This
is
looks like the beginning of the end.
yeah, especially sniping off that third base.
Captain Bio is doing its best. Oh, and we get the War Prism Micro. Oh man.
ZOUN does it, man. He wins 3 straight
Jeez.
to win
No
this.
way.
What a beast. What a beast.